Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It's Talkie Tuesday again already. Another week has flown by. I'm Dori Patrick. I'm a mixed media artist here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I try to come on my channel once a week and check in and just share little tidbits of my creative journey and my work. So thank you for joining me. Isn't this the cutest necklace ever? I remembered that I had that. It's made by my friend Jen Jangles. I'm going to put a link to her website. She does fabulous fabric design, ceramics. She creates little kits for creating, and she's just like this creative powerhouse. I got this from her years ago. Her ceramic jewelry is like my favorite thing that she does. But anyway, I thought you might ask, so I thought I'd tell you about Jen. Anyway, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the studio. Let's see. On a personal note, we're doing fine here at the house. Hubby and I are both staying plenty busy with work, and he has been having some tooth stuff going on, and this is, I think, maybe he's had a few trips to the dentist over the past few weeks trying to sort some things out. A root canal has been involved, that kind of thing. So he's kind of not been having a whole lot of fun, but yeah, I guess, you know, Tylenol's your best friend in times like that. But hopefully after today, he will have it all sorted out. But and we were able to spend some time with friends over the weekend, which was super fun. I don't remember the last time we had folks over. So we were able to just sit out and have a fire on the patio and relax. Callie Mae Butterbean was wild. She usually when people come over, she's wild at the beginning, but she eventually settles down. But she had a bee in her bonnet Saturday night. And I think it was because she knew so we were on the patio. All the food was inside on the dining room table. And she was like trying to get in the house every time somebody like came in to get something. And it was just, anyway. It's a good thing she's cute, because really that gets her by. But anyway, it was good to spend time with friends. We've had some really nice weather here, so I've been able to get out in the yard and clean things up and that kind of thing. We did say goodbye to my Aunt Husai, so we are very sad about that. But I'm glad that she is not in pain anymore and is at peace. And her kids, my cousins, have just done a phenomenal job of taking care of things and getting the family sorted out. So we are looking forward to a service to honor her very soon. Yeah, so that was kind of heavy on our hearts this week too. So it was kind of a week of a mixture of, you know, sad and lovely. But yeah, so yeah, that was our week pretty much. I've been cranking away at paintings, still working on stuff for my first show of the season. I have been doing florals, which you can see in the back there. So those are painted with acrylics. And I've been also experimenting with this idea of half and half kind of thing. And I'll show you just one of the examples. But I'm kind of experimenting with taking drawings of flower bouquets, kind of all similar size-ish, but different mediums and different papers. And then kind of tearing them up and piecing them back together and finishing up the collage, you know, finishing it up with different backgrounds and stuff. And these have been so much fun. It's like you tear it up, you slap it down, and then you have this puzzle to solve. You know, how can I balance, make each side different, but balance it out, make it look like it belongs together even though it doesn't. So these have been a lot of fun. I have some larger ones that are in process that I'm excited to get to. And they are like built on, what am I trying to say? They're built onto, with a frame attached. So I'll be able to, you know, paint the frame to bring it all together. I'm real excited about that. Can't wait to get to those. Yeah, so lots of florals. I've also been playing around with figuring out self-leveling clear gel. I think that's what it's called, by Golden. It does this amazing gloss coat, very similar to resin, but I feel it doesn't quite do all the self-leveling that you really want it to do. So I'm figuring out how to make friends with it. And this has been my experiment board. Don't be a twat. This was based off of a little sketch that I did in my book. And I don't know how well the light, let's see if I can get the lighting to catch it there. See that glossy coat? And I really like it. But I'm telling you guys, this is like, I don't even know how many coats. And yeah, I just don't know if that's sustainable. So I found some videos online that share some tips, and I'm trying those out. I'm also trying a larger tool for spreading it so that I don't have so many marks and lines. So this is a work in progress, but I really love, look at that shine. It's so fun. It's just kind of another dimension to my work. I want to play around with also painting on top of this stuff. So creating the depth and having, you know, extra layers to look down through. So I'm excited about that. I'm not going to give up. I've just got to figure it out and see where it would apply where my work is concerned. But this was super fun. This was like doodling and acrylic paints, acrylic paint markers. Those are my Posca pens. There's some, I think there's some, yeah, there's some colored pencil in there too. It was kind of like drawing a coloring page on a wood panel and then filling it in. It was very cathartic. I enjoyed that a lot. So that's what I've been up to. What else was I going to share? Oh, I haven't been getting into my sketchbooks as much as I would like to. That's kind of what happens this time of year when I'm really focused on getting stuff made for shows. But I am playing around with landscape ideas. So here's a little doodle that I did. This was all Neocolor 2, those water-soluble crayons. I didn't involve any water. I just used them like a regular oil pastel and colored them in, and I'm enjoying those a lot too. I'm figuring out the layering of these crayons to add some depth, but it's a learning curve for sure. I did do a little doodle with oil pastel. I'm still like oil pastels. They aren't my favorite, but I do try to pick them up once in a while and just to exercise that part of my my brain. Yeah, but there really isn't anything much new in my sketchbook. Oh, here, this is the other landscape idea with that little house on the land. This one was with markers. So I'm just playing around with some composition ideas, and hopefully we'll be able to bring those to life in paintings for my upcoming shows. So one thing I wanted to be sure to share with you guys, I'm gonna put a link in the description, is just a reminder. I am one of the teachers this year for Make, Create, Express. And it's an online, year-long mixed media extravaganza. It's not a course, but it's many classes, many lessons, and many mini lessons from a variety of mixed media artists. And I was so fortunate to be asked, and so I contributed an art journaling class to this course. So basically it's one fee you pay for the year, and you can join anytime. It's not too late to join. You can still join, and once you join, you get access to all the previous lessons that have already aired, and then you will receive all the upcoming lessons that come out for the rest of the year. So this week, my lesson came live, and we called it Art Journal Jam. And it is basically how I share my process of how I work in my art journal. So there are lots of tips of getting unstuck, ways to find inspiration in things around you. And then I share step by step, start to finish, a page in my altered book. And I'll just give you a quick peek. This is the page we do in my lesson. I share all of the supplies that I like to use, little tips on using those water-soluble crayons and getting them to be real juicy, collage material, that kind of thing. It's a mixed media, year-long party, really. And it is work at your own pace. You don't have to, be live for any lesson or anything. It's just as you have time, watch a lesson and join us. So I hope that you will consider signing up if you haven't already. It's really a great value. There's a lot of information packed in there, and there are a lot of really great teachers who are teaching this year. So, and if you are inclined to sign up, I would love it if you would use my affiliate link, which will be in the description. That helps support my work when you use my link to sign up. So yeah, so that's happening. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, I thought I would also mention, I have been really inspired lately by artists who are doing a lot of on-location sketching and painting. There are a lot of artists on YouTube who are sharing their setup, the supplies they like to take with them. There are very minimal folks who just only bring, a couple tools and some pads of paper. And then there are folks who have like big totes that they carry all their stuff in. I'm really, really inspired by that and kind of excited to get a little kit together so that when I have the urge to go on a walk and do a little sketching, I'll just be ready and can grab it. Because like right now, all my supplies are in my studio, and I already shut down thinking, oh yeah, I don't have time to grab all the stuff and then get going. So I'm thinking about putting together a little kit for heading out for sketching, maybe painting, probably mostly sketching. I don't know that I am going to be someone who can sit down outside for a period of time and paint, but we'll see. But I have already been doing little studies in my sketchbook from my backyard. So like I'll pop out there, sit on the patio while Callie Mae's running around, and I'll find a tree and I will, you know, doodle that tree just to exercise that muscle in my brain. So stay tuned. We'll see if this is, that's currently what's sort of jazzing me up. The idea of doing some stuff on location. And I've got a lot of tools that would be good for that. I just need to get myself organized. Story of my life. So today I thought we could talk about collage. I thought we could talk about, I just would love to share with you what I love to use, how I organize my collage material, how I use it in my work, and we could talk about adhesives at the end. So I'm actually going to pause here and we'll flip the camera around and I'm going to show you kind of how I organize my collage fodder. Now, I don't always put collage in everything I do. It really is just kind of on a case-by-case basis. Probably about 50% of my pieces have collage in them. In my art journal, probably all the pages have a bit of collage. So it just kind of depends on the mood and what kind of look I'm after. But I'm hoping if I can just kind of share how I organize and use it, maybe it will kind of give you some ideas of, you know, having those materials accessible to include at any time. And really, that's the key. Organizing yourself so that when you want to do it, you can do it. You can grab it and do it. And it's not a lot of fuss, because I know myself. If it's going to be hard for me to find, a fuss for me to grab it or look for it or whatever, it's just not going to happen. So let me share with you how I organize my collage material, and I'll meet you over in my at my little collage cart here in a second. Okay, so here we are, guys. So just a little reminder of where we're at. So that's my big island where I work. And I have 2 of these little rolling carts. I got them at the Container Store when we were, I think we were in Des Moines. But, you know, you can order them online probably. I have one over here. Whoops, sorry. For my trims for sewing, and then I have this one which is for my paper ephemera. And first let me show you what I have on top. So this is kind of my miscellaneous tote of stuff that kind of doesn't really have a category, and I try to be diligent about cleaning this out on a regular basis, because if something sits for too long and you're not using it, you know, it's a little like your closet. It just sort of makes you sad because it's there, and it's like use it or lose it, baby. That's kind of my motto. Now, some things are very precious, like these bingo cards. I'll hang on to those forever. Yeah, so this is sort of the no rhyme or reason, very odd. Oh, there's another bad word. Very just little odd shapes, little drawings I've made and cut out that, you know, I would love to glue in at a later time. Yeah, lots of little vintage photos, vintage postcards, that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a catch-all where when I don't know where to put something, I throw it in there. And then on the other side behind this is a little container. It's just a little tin box I've had forever. And this has what I consider itty-bitty pieces, which are still very useful to me when I'm doing small pieces of art or just need a little pop of something. So I throw my itty bitties, miscellaneous stuff in here. So this is mostly stuff that's like, I don't know, 5 inches or smaller. I don't have a hard, fast rule. It's just, if it's small, I throw it in here. And I try to be ruthless with this too, and keep it moving and keep it cleaned out. Yeah, good stuff in there. Oh, even a piece of fabric made it in there. That's cool. So that's the top of the cart. And then the drawers I have sorted by color, and of course, rainbow cart, hello. I mean, what could be better? So I try to organize myself. You know, the pinks go in the pink drawer. The reds go in the red drawer. And, you know, some of these have other colors on them. I try not to fuss and overthink. I look at it and I go, okay, to me, majority of that is red. Throw it in the red drawer. You know, you could really overwhelm yourself with overthinking how to organize this stuff, but I just go with the primary colors. So there's orange, and that guy's in the wrong spot. Yellows, greens, just all kinds of yummy stuff. So there's my aquas. And this cart is kind of funny. It's got like 3 that I consider blue. So I kind of tried to do aqua blues, like more royal blues. And then I made this last blue drawer a multicolor. So when something has a ton of color and doesn't really fit in one spot, that's where I keep that. Purples, which I need more of, it looks like. And then my black and white and neutrals. I throw all those in one drawer. I could even probably have an extra drawer for neutrals to separate from my black and white, but this is where we're at right now. So that's how I organize my pieces. When I'm doing a collage project, I am thinking color when I'm grabbing. So that's why I organize it that way. You may have a different thought process for collaging, and you should definitely think about that when you're organizing yourself, because it will save you so much trouble. So one more thing I wanted to show you, and this is not as pretty, not as colorful, but this has become a necessary thing for me. So this is a bin that I just keep on this shelf. This is sort of my paper shelf. I keep deli paper here, drawing paper, tracing paper, carbon paper, paper, extra notebooks down here that I haven't dug into yet. But this bin is kind of important to me because this is where I throw miscellaneous paper that I eventually want to mark or paint and create collage material with. So it's an assortment. This is cardstock. These are old prints of mine that I'm not using for anything, but they're so, you know, that's a great base. I could roll some more paint over that and create something new with it. Deli paper that's been cut up. This is some vellum, which I am excited to play around with. And there's just, you know, scrapbook paper, old envelopes that didn't have cards that were the mate to them. This is craft tissue, blah, 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 blah. Oh, these are pieces of a file folder, pieces of a box that I saved, notebook paper, you name it. So what's really great about this really helps keep my brain from being so scattered, I guess. When I have a place, I know I can throw extra paper that eventually I will get to and decorate. So that's what that is. And then finally, I'm going to show you, well, 2 more things, I guess. This is a little stack that I got to earlier let's see, maybe end of last week. I had this big piece of craft paper and I had some extra paint after a painting session. And so what I do is take a big wedge, which you could take really anything, credit card, old gift card, and I just scrape the paint across the surface of the paper first, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I don't think too much. I'm just using up paint. So I think in this instance, I had a lot of pink and red left over. And I just scrape it across. And that craft paper is so nice and absorbent. And it's really great collage material because it's nice and sturdy. So I just scrape paint, and then I come back after they're dry. I kind of cut them into more manageable pieces and decorate. Some of them I just put a pattern on top. So like this is a Posca pen, that fluorescent pink. This is just some blotches of white paint. I also really love to like press into and lift up and get some organic forms. This is more Posca pen. This is Posca pen. I drew those on there and then pressed a paper towel into it so it wasn't so perfect. Whoa, can you see that? Yeah, so that was my recent. So sometimes, you know, I'm making my collage material when because I have extra paint left over after a session. And it's a great way to use up scraps, build your collection, and use that paint, you know. We don't want to waste. We don't want to waste. This is Neocolor 2 crayon that I scribbled on top. And then I set that with a matte varnish. So, yeah, there you go. Now I'm going to switch it back around and we'll take a look at adhesives. I'll share some of my favorites with you here in just a sec. Hi again, guys. Okay, so real quick, I'm just going to show you some of my favorite adhesives. And I realized that one of the things I didn't grab was there is a glue stick that I really like to use it with my dry media, and it's Elmer's Extreme. I think it says Extreme on the front of the little tube. I'll share a link to it if I can find it. But I like that for travel and for like my planner, any kind of dry media where I'm just, you know, doing something real quick and just want to stick something and save it. I don't use it so much in my artwork, but the Elmer's Extreme glue stick is my favorite so far. But for art journaling, for canvases, all that other collage stuff. So this is the rule that I have found that works best for me when gluing things down. The thinner the paper, the thinner the adhesive. The thicker the item that you're gluing down, the thicker the adhesive. Seems to work the best. So starting with the least expensive, I love my good old Mod Podge. I always grab matte finish mostly because it just doesn't interfere with what I'm doing. It doesn't, matte finishes don't alter colors quite as much. You'll know when you put a gloss on something, it really makes the color pop. And when I'm working on a piece, I don't always want that shift. So I always get matte. I usually get the big tub because this will last me a good while. This is 32 ounces. Super inexpensive. Nothing fancy, but this is a good, just all around average adhesive. I use this a lot when I'm working with thinner papers. So this is really good for gluing tissue paper down or newsprint. I find newsprint to be sort of delicate, and this is nice for that. So good old Mod Podge, right? Nothing fancy there. Then the next step up, I love Liquitex matte gel. So this has a little more viscosity than the Mod Podge. It's not a pourable medium. It's a That's probably not very helpful. I don't know. I would say maybe it's a little like margarine, a soft margarine. So this is also not too shabby with the more delicate papers that I glue down, like tissues and newsprint. But it can also hold its own for medium weight papers. So, and I have found I like Liquitex the best. Some Golden makes a lovely one too. Liquitex is a little more affordable, I've found. But just an average matte. And again, I go for matte. There are also gloss gels. I think there's even a semi-gloss. I just always go for matte for my initial pieces. And then when I'm done with my piece, I decide if I want it to be shiny or not. I just find it to be less distracting. So Liquitex matte gel for your light and medium papers. And then next up is Golden's heavy matte gel. Now Liquitex does one too. I just happen to have the Golden. I'm working through a jar of this. I don't know why. Things up here in my studio sometimes. Sometimes I'm giving gifts or things that people don't want to use, and I'm trying them out. So I'm not opposed to Liquitex heavy matte gel. I just happen to have the Golden heavy matte gel handy. Either one are probably great. This one I have found to be lovely for those heavier papers. So if you are gluing down like a cardstock, maybe a light cardboard or a heavier textured like handmade paper, heavy gel will get the job done. And I have found that putting some down on the surface that I'm going to glue it down on, and then putting some on the back of the thing I want to glue down, setting it in there and really burnishing it in is kind of the key to really getting those heavier pieces to stick. So, and maybe someday we'll do a little demo on that, but you get the gist. Heavy gel, heavy paper. This is your best bet. And then finally, the Mama Jamma, and one of my favorite products, maybe of all time. And that's not an exaggeration. I love Golden High Solid Gel. I get this in matte also. It also comes in other finishes. Again, I prefer the matte. This Mama Jamma glues down stuff like cardboard, like upholstery fabric. Like if you need to nail something down that has some heft, this is the stuff to do it. It has become so versatile. I even will use it in some paper mache products or projects when I'm trying to get a paper to adhere around a curved object or something and it just doesn't want to lay, doesn't want to stick. Boom, this stuff will get it done. And it's, I think, the thickest gel out there. Don't quote me on that, but it's pretty close to the thickest thing you can get out there. It does dry mostly clear. I found that it can kind of have a cloudy effect if you leave it on real thick. And sometimes you want that, and that's a cool effect too. It gives you texture too. So you can, do your painting, put a layer of this down, let it dry, come back over it. It kind of gives you that depth and that texture that the other gels can't do. And if you want to really get into adding heavy objects to your paintings, this will get it done. I mean, I think I glued a metal washer once to a painting because I wanted that element. And it did it. It held. I've even, I think, repaired something in the house. What did I do? Oh, I think it was maybe like a little bit of plaster was coming down, and this glued it back up. and you couldn't even tell. So, High Solid Gel by Golden. This is my fave. And obviously, I buy it in 32-ounce tubs because I love it that much. So, well, I hope that you've enjoyed this Talkie Tuesday. And I would love to hear your feedback. You guys were so sweet last week. What were we talking about last week? Fixatives and studio clothes. That reminds me, that was the other thing, the other question I wanted to answer. A few of you reached out and love overalls as much as I do. And we're asking about a couple of brands. And I'll tell you, so far, my two favorites are, these are Dickies. And I'll try to find a link to a Dickies brand overall for you. I love these. They come in different washes and they're really loose and super comfy. So I like these. I am a little short, so I had to cut the legs off of some of them, but I don't care. I just let them fringe. The other brand that I really love and I'm really obsessed with is Duluth Trading Company. So that would be a good company to check out too if you're looking for some good, hard-working overalls. And what's so great about Duluth overalls is a lot of them, I don't think all of them, but a lot of them, especially the gardening section of the overalls, they have elastic up here. So if you're really active and you're doing a lot of squatting or moving around, the elastic moves with you, and that is fabulous. So, and I will try to find a link for some of the overalls too so you can see them. We gotta stick together, us overall lovers. Well, I wish you all a wonderful week. Thank you so much for joining me again and listening to me yapper on and on and on. I appreciate it. And I wish you a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.